What's going on, guys? This is Matt Marinoff. I got a special guest tonight, JJ Azizian. And this gentleman, unfortunately, is a Dodgers fan, as you can see. He's representing. And I'm actually happy to have him on. We've been following each other for a couple of years now, at least two or 3 years, maybe. And the guy, he's got a ton of knowledge. He has been in the commercial realm for 30 years or so. He had hair when we started in the industry, and now he just has facial hair. So the reason why I wanted to have JJ on was a couple different reasons. One, he is professionally trained. He does run one or two different groups. I know you have, what is it, Coast to Coast?
Yeah, Coast to Coast REI Networking, which is a national networking group for students of a particular educational real estate program.
Which was pretty cool because we were on there, and I know that you put it out there, and I think there was about 39 people that actually came on. There was an open forum, and then you had like these different rooms where people could go into, which was a really great concept in itself. And I put up there, look, if anybody wants to know more about short sales, and I think out of the 39, I think the total tally of people that actually reached out to me were about 28.
Cool.
So that's a strong, obviously, hold on. People wanted to find out more about, the short sale industry and try to get more information, for me in general. But I'm very pleased to have you on. I appreciate you taking the time. I know we have a little bit of a time zone difference. It's 12 o'clock here. What is it, 9 o'clock there?
Yeah, 9 a.m.
9 a.m. Got it. So you had to get up a little extra early today just so you could make sure that your hair was done, correct?
Yeah, I'm up at about 5:30 every morning, to tell you the truth.
What the hell are you getting up so early in the morning for?
I just find it's a lot easier to make use of my day in the morning than if I'm up late at night. I'm probably not as productive. I'm probably watching TV or doing something that's not as effective. If I'm up early in the morning, I can knock out some laundry. I can do some reading. I can do some studying. I can check on my business emails. And I find that I can be really productive between 6 and 8 a.m.
All the women that are watching right now, all they heard was you do laundry and the rest got blocked out. So, no, honestly, no, this is cool. I love having you on here. There's a couple of questions, obviously, I want to ask you about yourself. And I want people in my, auditorium, my realm, to get to know you. And if they want to reach out to you, the whole concept of the Short Sale One-on-One group, obviously, is to have experiences and meet new people and educate and, to have an open forum where people can ask questions. And I thought it was important to have somebody of your stature on my live stream. So thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate the opportunity.
JJ, is there anything you want to add or maybe say about yourself, or maybe tell people a little bit about yourself before I get into the questions I want to ask?
Yeah, I think one of the things I like to throw out is something that I hear when I'm talking to people who have more experience or more knowledge in fields that I'm interested in, is that, I'm just a regular person. I'm just like everybody else. There are many things I'm learning and I'm a beginner at, and some things I have a little bit of knowledge at. And I just try and treat everybody equally and be the best person I can. And I'm an open book. There's, you want to ask me a question, I'm game.
That's great. That's obviously that's very important. I'm looking at one of the streams that I have on my company page, and they actually have it set up, which I think is pretty cool, for the hearing impaired. So if somebody actually can't, but if they actually want to read what we're talking about, so I have to watch what I say, because I don't know how the F word would come out, if it's going to come out with like F and then like star, whatever it is. So I'm going to leave it at that. But anyway, so let's get into some of the questions. And I already see people popping up some things here as far as comments. We'll get to those in a little bit.
Great.
So let's see. Question 1. So what has been your biggest challenge that you had to overcome in getting basically where you are, today in the market?
I think my biggest challenge is getting out of my own way. You know, I grew up as a kid that was shy. I stuttered. I was picked on and bullied. And it wasn't easy for me to start reaching out to people. It wasn't easy for me to make connections and make friendships. And as I've progressed through, my experiences and I talk to newer people, I frequently hear that the things a lot of people say is that, they're shy, they're quiet, they're reserved, and they don't know how to get out and make that break. And so I think, the biggest thing I had to learn was, just how to be comfortable with myself, get out of my own way, and just be an open book.
I mean, so you've been in real estate for how many years?
Oh gosh, I was a broker for a while. My dad started collecting real estate when I was a kid. So I've been going to property since I was a teenager before I could drive. I've been a property owner for about 30 years now, owning commercial real estate. My dad decided at one point in time, let's see how you do. Let's get your feet wet. Let you start off with these 2 properties and see how you do. And so about 30 years, I got into dealing with tenants, dealing with City Hall, dealing with leases and contractors and real estate attorneys. And I learned by diving in. There was no prep, no prep to it at all.
That's good. Sometimes the best thing you could do is jump out of a plane without a parachute.
There you go.
Hope somebody's jumping out right behind you with a parachute, just in case, but you never know. Okay. This is actually, to me, this is important because I know a lot of people don't like or maybe don't take education serious. Well, what role is an education has played in the growth as you personally as a businessman?
I think that's a great question. My mom was a school teacher, so she made sure that my brother and I were exposed to different types of things, piano lessons, whatever it happened to be. But I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to go to college. And I got in by the skin of my teeth. I was on academic probation. I had to constantly go through dropping out to get my classes, but I fulfilled requirements to get my business degree. And out of college, I worked in corporate aerospace for Hughes Aircraft Company. And what made that job happen was the fact I had a business degree. I had worked for Hughes Aircraft for about 5 years, and due to changes in the government and cutbacks in the Star Wars program, I worked for Hughes Aircraft Company Space and Communications Group. And when that kind of fell by the wayside, there was a transition in my life. A close friend of mine passed away, and I wasn't quite sure where I was going to go. And living in Los Angeles and in Hollywood, grew up in the Hollywood Hills, I had an opportunity to fall backwards into the film industry. And I started out picking up trash and serving coffee. And I soon found I felt my education helped me because I had an aptitude to learn and to succeed and to try and do well. Whatever someone's doing, whether it's athletics, selling real estate, buying real estate, sales or marketing, you're competing with other people, you're competing with yourself. And so there has to have some, belief in yourself, some self-confidence, and education can prepare you for that because ideally people are, my dogs, ideally people are developing work habits and study habits and developing skills that will apply to many different forums.
Right.
I had transitions after the film industry. I was in the film industry for about 5-6 years.
Were you what industry? Were you in the adult industry or mainstream?
I had actually started with music videos and commercials a long time ago when they were done actually in film. Now they're done in video. At that time, they were something new, and these companies would get their film crews by getting a director from the film industry, who would then bring in his camera crew off of a feature film and the lighting crew. And I was basically working with feature film crews as the kid picking up trash and serving coffee.
That's pretty cool. What year was that? Do you remember what year was that?
I I left Hughes Aircraft in 1989 when my friend passed away. So I started in the film industry about 1990.
1990. Okay.
And I was in it for about 6 years. As I said, I started out just, picking up trash and serving coffee. And then they said, get me a stinger. What's a stinger? It's an extension cord, and I would learn, get me an apple box. What's an apple box? And I would learn, just some of the things that the gopher would do. And people like my work ethic. And my first job, the key grip, and what a grip does is his department makes the shadows for the lighting people.
Yeah.
He asked me if I wanted to work as a fourth grip sometime, and I said sure. I had no idea what a grip did. I said sure. And our first job was a music video out in the desert for a guy named Steve Earle, who I recently saw here in Los Angeles at the Great Theater with Dwight Yoakam. But that led to my second job, which was a commercial at Universal Studios, shot on the lot. The director was John Landis, who did, amongst other movies, Animal House. And what was
one of my favorite movies, by the way.
Excuse me?
One of my favorite movies, by the way.
Oh, yeah. And great guy, too. Funny as can be. And it was great to work on camera. But, one of my goals was to go from picking up trash to being a producer. I wanted to get to the management aspect of the film industry. Mm-hmm. And along the way, I just learned how all the different components fit together. Like in real estate, you have your title company guy, you have your real estate attorney, you have your broker, have your short sales expert. You have all the different specialties that combine to give you your team.
Right.
Well, in the film industry, I learned that as well. How does makeup fit with wardrobe and camera and production? And I've just learned how to put pieces together and be invisible when you need to and be of help when necessary.
Yeah, no, I understand. Who would you consider to be the most knowledgeable person that you know in the short sale industry today?
Oh gosh, there's a lot of people in that field, but I definitely that has to be yourself. I've met in my many years of real estate a lot of people out here in California, and there are people that dabble in short sales and they do different aspects of it, but you have created a niche, and you've developed and earned your reputation as someone who's knowledgeable in that field. You've attained a following, and that doesn't come overnight. It doesn't come easily. It doesn't come by accident.
No, absolutely. It's funny. Like I like the entertainment business myself. When I was younger, I was 15 years old. I remember actually going into the city and trying out for commercials. Well, my agent actually called my mom and said, hey, we might have an actual role for Matt to be in. And I'm going to spare everybody the small talk. I was up against two other people, and the other person was actually Matthew Perry for a role, Boys Will Be Boys. And funny story, they liked me. I read for them twice. First time I completely bombed, and I'm like, yeah, I'm out of here. I suck. And they laughed, and they said, no. Go out to the waiting room, relax. We'll call you back in. And some people were in and out super quick. So they said they didn't like the shirt that I had on. They asked me if I brought a change of clothes, and I'm like, no. And a buddy of mine had a different color shirt on. His name was Billy. Actually, his name was Bill Lloyd. And it was funny. We swapped shirts. Did it. They said the color and the lighting looked better. And by the time I got home that day, my agent had called my mom and said, hey, look, there's a strong possibility Matt's going to get flown out to California for a casting call. And they really liked him a lot. But what had happened was I guess then, the VCR, whatever the hell the tape is, they had sent it, and they decided to go with Matthew Perry. There was me, so it was me, and supposedly like two or three other guys. So that was my quote unquote almost claim to fame at 15 years old, whatever. And then, I stopped doing it. I had some physical issues that I had to take care of, whatever, personal issues. And I often wonder, hey, what would have happened? So everything always, I believe, happens for a reason. And social media, obviously, I'm not afraid of the camera, and I like to joke around. I like to have a good time, and I like to explain to people, you know, what what their role can be. And I think that's why I like you. I don't want to use the word attract because people can take it the wrong way, but I'm drawn to people like yourself because you're a true professional.
Thank you.
And now I know a little bit more about you from the entertainment business. That's why I shared that story, because you have to be a special person, I think, to be able to entertain and perform. I don't get nervous before I go live. I get excited. I don't get nervous when I talk in front of hundreds of people in a group.
Yeah.
Because I'm very confident in the information that I can provide, and I have a strong self confidence about myself, which I didn't, which you had actually talked about early on. You had a stuttering problem. You had said that you had gotten picked on, stuff like that. So when somebody says, and I want your opinion on this, I'm going somewhere with this, is if somebody at a young age acts a certain way, does that really define who they are going to be in later in life?
Definitely not. And I think the way I look at that is life in general. I mean, with the development of my business, every day is different. Every day is growing. We're getting better and better with each day, with each week, with each month. I've got this networking group that started a year and a half ago with 8 people. And as each month goes by, we're adding more and more people. And in 18 months, we've hit 2,700 members across the country. And that's out of a particular educational program. So it's not like it's just anybody who wants to jump in there. But you grow, you develop, and you get better, and you learn, and you build off the day before, and you learn from your mistakes. If everything always goes well for people, they're not going to be as strong as the person that has hurdles to overcome. And so you have to grasp those challenges, conquer those things the best you can. And even if you don't come out on the side of where you wanted to be, there's a silver lining to every gray cloud. You have to find the win in every negative experience.
Right.
That's what makes you stronger. If you don't have those things to make you stronger, then you're not as strong as you could have. You have to take advantage of every opportunity, good and bad, to make yourself a better person. And that's all that comes down to.
I agree 100%. I think that for whatever road somebody decides to drive on, and not everybody has the same thought. Like some people, they know exactly what they want to be in life. They know what they want to do. At the age of 16 years old, I always knew I wanted to be in real estate. I didn't know what type of
Me too.
I didn't know like to what extent what I wanted to do. I actually love what I do. I don't wake up in the morning and say, "Oh, I can't believe I have to get on a conference call or I have to do these live streams." I have to cut back on the live streams, unfortunately, because there's projects that I need to finish up on. I'm worried that my boot camp is not going to happen in October because they're talking about another second wave of COVID coming, and obviously that would be very concerning. So we're building a platform right now online, an education platform, where people can come on and they can learn, different aspects of, short sales. Short sales is it's not one, one seat fits all. And people always like, oh, short sales are all the same. They're not. Short sales have different DNA. So I can appreciate the business that you're in and what you offer. And, as far as moving forward and, prospecting, working with prospects. So, which leads me to my next question that I wanted to talk about. I definitely want to cover is, what's your opinion on, or perspective on contracts and basically writing agreements with people that you may or may not know or have done business with? What's your thought on, having written agreements?
Well, that's an excellent question. and a topic that everybody in business needs to address. We all know friends, we all know family, we all know people that we want to do business with. Someone's going to have a friend that's going to recommend someone, hey, let's go in, let's jump on this deal, or can you fix my house? Can you fix my roof? Whatever it happens to be, things of that nature. But, when you get beyond friendship and you get into business, it's funny how money can change people. And you need to protect yourself. And so, contracts are extremely important. Written agreements are extremely important. A phrase that we commonly use in our real estate circle is doing your due diligence and making sure you not only have a proper opportunity and all the numbers work out right, but that the person you're looking to go into business with or deal with a transaction with has a legitimate background, has their license. They don't have a criminal background. Maybe, use social media, check on who they are. One of the things people say is go to someone's personal Facebook page, open it up, see what they post. Are they, posting positive things? Do they have things that reflect their family, who they are, their interests? Hey, it looks like a really good person. Or are they possibly expressing views that don't agree with yours? And if those views don't agree with yours, is this the kind of person you want to go into business with? So it's good to see how people present themselves when they're not right in front of you. In addition to that, I think it's really important to have an attorney. If you're in real estate, you have a real estate attorney. If you're in other fields, you have your own attorney, but maybe you have an attorney that specializes to your own unique field. Definitely have an attorney review all of your documents, all of your contracts. I had a friend of mine that is having her house work done, and she drew up a contract with the contractor. Well, guess what? The contractor completely favors the contractor, and there's no timeline. He can basically come and go as he wants, and what should have been a 3-4 week project is now going into its 4th month.
Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. She wants to get her father home because he's dealing with Alzheimer's, and she can't get him home because the house isn't done. It's in shambles. But it's important to have someone review your contract, whether it's an experienced friend, someone you know. If you're in an educational program, maybe your program has a contract review that they can review. Mm-hmm. But definitely get an attorney. Definitely have an attorney on your team. As I said, you might have a title guy, you might have a broker, you might have your contractor, your short sale expert, but definitely have an attorney on your team, and that's an absolute must. So definitely contracts, written agreements, I am 1,000% in favor of those, and make sure they get initialed off by your attorney.
Absolutely. It's funny you mentioned the whole protection side of it. I tell people that reach out to me and inquire about doing business with me that if they're hesitant or I could sense the hesitation in their voice, Google me, search my name, search my company name. Anybody that's not willing to say Google me personally, Google my company name, to me I'd say run hard in a different direction, because and maybe they have something to hide, and maybe they have something to pop up. I mean, have I ever been threatened to be sued? 100%. Has it ever gone anywhere? No. Because in the line of work that I'm in, and I am in the front lines when it comes to people with distressed real estate, it's all about disclosing. And we disclose like crazy, because I never want to have an issue when someone says that I acted unfairly, or that I wasn't acting in the best interest of the person who's in distress. So I tell people all the time, put me in a hot seat, put me on the phone with somebody who's in trouble, because maybe, as a seasoned veteran of 30 years in real estate, maybe you can express or articulate what I can convey over the telephone with somebody without ever meeting them. I mean, I'm personally in an 85% close ratio on the phone talking to somebody because I have a heart, because I'm explaining it. That's another reason why I like you. You're not like a, flashy, dirty car salesman type of personality. You actually take the time and you actually care. When we did that Zoom call I'm 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, whatever it was,
Maybe 2.
2 months ago, you cared so much about, hey, do you guys need more time? What do you guys think? Do you like the concept of what I'm doing here, how I'm running it? It sounded so genuine. I'm assuming it was genuine how you were doing it.
Yeah, what you see is what you get.
But there's so many people out there that are not like that. And they come across as fake, genuine, or they come across as a sleazy car salesperson. And a lot of these sleazy car sales guys, they make a ton of money.
Yeah, they
But
do.
it's a one and done. They're not going to have repeat business. They're not going to be able to be on calls like you and me. You had me on. It was a great response. I'm having you on. It was a great response. People knew that you were going to be in the group. And we had a big spike last night into this morning, based on the fact that you were going to be, on a live with me and people joining the Short Sale 101 group. So stuff like that doesn't happen just because, you're definitely a force in the industry. And I love the fact that, sometimes you got to bounce into the gray area to make things happen or to bring perspective to somebody who's in trouble with their property. I'm talking about any situation, whether it's, a wholesale, whether it's a retail sale, whether it's a distressed sale, whether somebody just wants to, sell their property. It doesn't matter what it is. It's collaborating and making sure people are okay. I had a guy on yesterday. He's also, a gentleman who went to, one of these fortune classes, and he was talking about how he actually gave money back to the seller based on the finding that he knew that the payoff was less than what he actually thought it was. And the homeowner would have been like, okay, cool, let's just sell the property. And that would have been the end of it. So I thought that was nice that there are people in the industry. He could have took that money. He could have down payment on a house. He could have bought a car outright cash. He could have had marketing with the money. He could do whatever the hell he wanted, put in his kids' 401k. But he wanted to install in his children doing it the right way. And you can do real estate, in my opinion, in the right way in any market and make money, because obviously your phone's going to ring and people are going to want to come back. They're going to want to do business with you. But I think contracts, having agreements, is very important.
Yeah, no, extremely important. And I wanted to touch on what you just said a little while ago about how we spoke previously. I became aware of you via Facebook and social media, and I thought I need to reach out to this guy. For those of you that are watching the call today, what you need to do is you need to reach out to the people that are active, because those are the people that are going to help you. Ideally, they're going to help you depending on their time availability. But, the first time Matt and I spoke on the phone, we did not talk about short sales. We did not talk about real estate. We did not talk about what can you do for me? What are your rates? Mm-hmm. We've got a friend who's a lender. The first thing people ask him is, what's your rate? And his response is, nice to meet you. But Matt, we talked about Matt's father and my father, and we talked about some similarities and commonalities with us growing up in our relationships with our dad, and that allowed Matt and I to have a common bond and develop rapport. And through that, we've yet to meet face to face, but we've had numerous conversations, and I consider Matt a close friend, and he's always going to be a close friend. I look forward to the day we can shake hands and give a big old hug and put a sloppy kiss on that fat cheek of his there, and tell him I love him, because it's the relationship that we've developed. I had, getting back to the people thing, somebody sent me a message on Instagram, and it was a name that I had recognized, and I responded, with something about trying to build rapport, and the person went right past that, says trying to sell something. And I realized I was probably talking to a virtual assistant, because what's really important is to build a rapport, build a relationship. And that's why we're on the phone right now. But that also goes hand in hand with developing your, contracts and your real estate attorney. You should have a relationship with your real estate attorney. They should know who you are. You should know who they are. Do they have kids? Do they have like animals? What makes them tick? You build that rapport with your attorney.
In case you have to blackmail them, right?
Exactly.
Right.
All those pictures you got, but people are going to help you more when you make an honest effort to get to know who they are. And regardless of the industry, regardless of the business, it's about the relationships.
I spoke with a friend of mine who's out in Texas about an hour or so ago. And he has a situation with the property.
Excuse me, I'm going to turn something off there.
Okay. And he admitted that he should have gotten back to me, or he should have reached out to me about a week and a half ago, based on a situation with the property that he's trying to get down on the price. And he was debating whether to call me or not, because he's like, well, the purchase price is going to be so low, I didn't think you'd want to get involved in it. So my response was, are you effing crazy? Like, if we can help somebody out of a situation and you can make it better for them and they don't have to go to foreclosure, and you feel that you can financially have some growth from it, regardless of what it is, call me. And I was shocked, because I had thought that we had built rapport similar to you and me, where you knew that you could call me and we could talk. So I put it out there, and he appreciated it. And he actually put something on Facebook, which I thought was really nice about me. But it's about reaching out to people, talking to people, and being able to find out what you can do as far as helping. Like right now, if I had a tranquilizer, I go across the fence and I'd shoot my neighbor's dog with a tranquilizer, because it likes to bark. Now, when their dogs bark, my dogs bark. It's like they're trying to communicate, and that's when I just shut it all down and I go in my car and take a nap. So anybody that's watching this right now, and not everybody gives their cell phone number. If somebody wants to reach out, to JJ direct, you guys can reach out to him on his cell. You could text him, you could call him. He doesn't care what time you call him. It doesn't matter that he's on a different coast, West Coast, because he gets up at 5:30 in the morning, so he's a freaking lunatic. His phone number is 818-683-4047. Again, his cell number is 818-683-4047. And I say it like that because I know people are watching it, but I'm going to be turning some of these videos into podcasts. And I want people to actually hear a method of being able to reach out to people like yourself. JJ, another thing that I want to talk about, and a lot of people don't understand, or they have a misconception about it, and there's a lot of different things that people could talk about, and there's a lot of different things that people could say about this specific topic, right? I guess a perception of doing business with family and friends. Are you for, or are you against it?
Wow, that's a real tough one. That kind of goes hand in hand with contracts and written agreements. Once you start doing business is business. And sometimes, the people that are most likely to take advantage are going to be family and friends. I'm your friend, I didn't think you'd do this, or, what's my perspective on it? I just say use the same due diligence as somebody you don't know. Have your contract, have your agreement, have things specified, have your time frame. You're going to have some family members that you don't want to do business with, and you're going to have some that you can't wait to do business with, and hopefully they'll be open to doing business with you, and they don't have the perspective, I'm not going to work with family. But there are friends of mine I want to do business with. I've got friends in my educational program. The educational program is called Fortune Builders. It's a real estate educational program that is probably one of the better educational programs in the country for those that don't know about it. But, there are people that have become friends of mine through this industry and who I look forward to doing business with. and yet I'm still going to apply the same due diligence. I'm going to still use the written contracts and the agreements. And as I do work with my family, I've got some family members that are potential private money lenders for me that could finance probably major projects.
Mm-hmm.
Yet I'll still be using the same contracts, the same written agreements,
Mm-hmm.
and providing for them the due diligence to see up front that I've done my homework. So what's my perspective on doing business with family and friends? I'm not for it. I'm not against it. It's not, that's the basis of your decision. If there are people that you want to do business with, regardless of you know them or don't know them, and family and friends you do know, so that gives you a little bit more insight as if you want to do business with these people or not. But yeah, go ahead and do it. But like anything else, be a stand-up person, do the right thing. Like you talked about that one gentleman that had a situation where he was able to give the seller some money back. That's what we're taught in fortune builders, to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
They have morals. The real estate
Mm-hmm.
industry is renowned for having people that will stab you in the back and take advantage and collect that extra money and not tell anybody about it. And if people find out, they're not going to do business with that individual again. It's about, as you said, the used car salesman, the one and done.
Mm-hmm.
You make your business work. You represent your business. You are your business.
Right.
You don't market your business. You market yourself. Like you market Matt Miranoff. Everybody knows who you are.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that's about. You need to have a network of support. The net worth of your business is basically your network. And so one needs to have ethics. One needs to have morals. One needs to do the right thing. One needs to be honest and upright and upstanding and treat everybody fairly, regardless of culture, regardless of religion, race, gender, sexual preference. None of that should matter. It should just be about being fair and being honest. And, do business with family and friends. They're going to know you better. They're going to have more comfort. But it's even more important that you do the right thing with people and don't fall flat on your face. And the most important thing is get your lenders paid back. If people are going to be providing you with funds, if it means you make absolutely nothing, if it means you take a loss, pay your lenders back, because then they'll come back and lend to you in the future because you did the right thing.
100%. Do you follow Dan Zatalski at all?
Never heard of him. There's a lot of people out there that I need to be familiar with, and I'm learning day by day, week by week. But at this point in time, I'm not familiar with the name.
So what I would do is I would definitely, I'd love to do an intro.
Yeah, connect us.
He's a monster in the industry. He's first and foremost, he's a very close friend of mine, but he's also business wise, whatever. I would also consider him to be somewhat of a mentor to me. I'm not shy to say, we've been away on business trips together. We share a room. He's tried to snuggle with me and canoodle, and I got to push him off, stuff like no one can. But he's a fun individual. But when it comes to business, he's a shark. No nonsense guy. And I know when he personally trains people, I think people respect him more because he'll come down on you like a hammer. He'll give you homework, and if you don't complete it, it's like you're back at school again. So I think that people should understand, especially in the environment that we're in, on how to raise private funding and be able to be, have the capital in place and not have to worry about traditional lending practices, because in an environment like this where the guidelines have either gone away with some people, or they've made them so stringent that some people can't borrow the hard money because, hey, I got the 20%, but I don't have the PITI 6 to 12 months in reserve. So, and I know there's a lot of people out there saying that they're funding, but there's a lot of people out there that are also full of crap. So I believe that raising private capital is something that, is going to have to come on or be important at a later date. I'd love to do something where Maybe Dan and I both come on to one of your coast to coast groups at one point and actually talk about that aspect of the money, but also how it can actually help you with buying distressed real estate. Because in the next 6 to 12 months, people are going to see a different, they're going to feel a different sense in the air. They're going to feel like they're in a little different environment. Although real estate is still going to be pumping, there's going to be like an undertow underneath. And it's going to, at some point, it's going to pull the legs out of the real estate community. But as of right now, I'm not saying that it is 2005, but it has a sense of 2005. Do you agree or disagree with that?
It's a crazy time right now. It really is. 2005, I wasn't doing what I'm doing now. I was more, wasn't as involved in the actual aspect of finance and funding and lending as I'm learning now the last couple of years. So I don't have the exact experience to really give an honest reference to 2005, but I do know that, obviously the market fell in 2008 and things preceded that in 2005, 6, 7. We've got a crazy situation right now with the economy, as well as other things that affect the economy, COVID and other things that are going on nationally and internationally. So it's one of the craziest times in my lifetime. I grew up. I'm gonna be 61 years old in a month, and I grew up in Los Angeles as a kid in the 60s and 70s, and saw everything, from the race riots and JFK getting killed, Martin Luther King, Bobby Kennedy, civil rights, the thing we had with a name evades me, but just certain types of things that happened in Los Angeles that have had seen crazy times happen. But what's going on in the country right now is just really volatile and really, really unsettling and makes the market unstable. Fortunately, now is that COVID is, I don't want to say settling, but it seems like the market's settling a little bit. Of course, as though there's going to be an anticipated second phase of COVID, that who knows what that's going to do to the market. So
right.
Things are just, there's a lot of uncertainty right now. And some people are ready to jump in. Some people are taking it easy. I wish I had a crystal ball.
Well, if you did, you could work for Dionne Warwick Psychic Network and make a shitload of money, probably. I want to ask you a question, JJ, because some people teeter on working in, or are you working in or on? And I obviously spelled this wrong. Are you working in your business, or are you working on your business daily?
I'm doing both. Right now, I have our family, my mom, my brother, and I. We've got 6 commercial centers, 32 doors. I've got shopping centers in 4 cities in Southern California, and I'm dealing with contractors and remodels, renovations. We had an eviction on a rental property, a house we bought on short sale. The guy decided to forge my dad's signature, forge the signature of my deceased father.
Yikes.
We were out to help him, but once that went that way, it's like, buddy, you got to go. So I'm actually actively involved in everything. But at the same time, for my real estate business, I have 3 partners or three teammates. I've got my girlfriend is heading up our acquisitions department. She is wonderful. She does more with a cell phone than I can do with a 27-inch iMac. I've got another gentleman. Her son actually heads up our analysis team with a program that we doing our repair estimator, our deal analyzer. I have another gentleman who is heading up the financial aspect or the funding aspect. We're all kind of learning. So I'm working on my business in the regard where I'm networking and I'm building my contacts and I'm laying out a foundation and developing those relationships so the people that are on my team can pick up with those relationships. So that's when I'm working on my business. I'm working in my business where I'm still managing a rehab on a house. I'm about to start another rehab on a commercial building. I finished one on another commercial building. So I have to deal with that. I have to deal with the contractors. I have to deal with the equipment that we're renovating, replacing, refrigerators, electrical panels. Those are decisions I have to make. So that's where I'm working in the business. But as far as my real estate investment company, I'm working on the business, trying to prepare for the future by building the relationships. And part of building the relationships is reaching out to you, reaching out to the people that are doing the deal. That, hey, do you have a couple minutes to talk to me? And in the same respect, I find new students through our program are reaching out to me, and I take the time to talk to them and help other people. Because if I'm not willing to help other people, I can't expect other people to help me. I had one of the coaches call me a few days ago, and wanted to talk and get acquainted. We had a coaching call a year and a half ago, and I've had coaching calls with other coaches, and we talked for 45 minutes about herself and myself. And then the coach says to me, I wanted to tell you why I reached out. I said, okay, tell me why I reached out. So, well, I'm getting all these coaching calls. People are mentioning your name, how you're helping people. I'm like, wow, that's great. And, you're helping older people that don't know how to use the internet, don't know how to do email, don't know how to use Facebook. And I like people. And so I help people without asking for anything. And when I do that, it's about karma and good things come back. As a result of that, I'm on your show. Here I am. I'm talking to Matt Marinoff. I'm my first time on a live stream ever. But I think it's cool. I'd love to do something like this again. I've done my own little YouTube channel called Flip Side Up with JJ, where I interview mastery students. I interview different people in the real estate industry to promote other people. And then through that, it helps me to build relationships. I was shooting that at my house in a little studio that we've made here, and then COVID shut it down. But one of the things I'd like to do is what we're doing, is be able to, you're on one side of the country, I'm in California, and I'd love to continue interviewing people and promoting other people. And so right. by helping others in doing the right thing, taking a little bit of time, it comes back to you. Those people that are the used car salesmen, they don't have time for me. They don't have time for someone who's new. They don't have time for anyone who's not going to put money directly into their pocket. And what happens is they're one and done, as you say.
So I'm looking at what somebody wrote here, and there's an issue between Facebook and this StreamYard, but this is pretty cool. The person wrote, "Wow, JJ, so glad you overcame your stuttering and bullying as a child and ended up in this business. You give me so much confidence in this business. I joined your Coast to Coast, but I've missed the last 3 weeks. I hate it when I miss your webinars. I'm going to have to remember when they are and put them in my schedule." That's a nice little testament you got there, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah, whoever that is. All we see over here is Facebook users, so I don't really see the name. There are a couple other really nice comments that people have put in here and hellos. Yeah. So all we see is Facebook user, but thank you so much. And the group I have is a Facebook group. It's not available to the public. It's a private group because it's designed to help the newer students within our Fortune Builder program.
That's pretty cool. I appreciate that you're offering that to people. JJ, let me ask you, what type of real estate are you in now? Because obviously you were in commercial real estate for 30 years. You mentioned you have, is it 6 shopping malls?
Yeah, we have 6 small retail centers, mom and pop shop kind of thing, door and window, a little mini market. We have one corporate tenant, which is a pizza company, which has a chain of about 30, 40 pizza restaurants in Southern California. But other than that, they're, a nail salon or barber shop. One guy's got a bail bonds company. One is a Salvadorian pupuseria restaurant. So they're mom and shop families, and they've got hit pretty hard with COVID. And,
let me ask you a question. Because that's really important. How are you working out with them as far as the commercial side? Because people are saying commercial real estate is going to take a major hit from this. How are you getting through it?
Well, fortunately for me, my dad started this, gosh, 40, 50 years ago. And so he had bought one center at a time. And as he walked through life getting there, he was able to pay off the centers. So fortunately, my centers don't have a mortgage. We don't have a payment we have to make every month, which puts me in a different situation. As far as my tenants go, some of them are, some of them closed for a while. Some of them are, I think, they're starting to open back up right now. And different cities have different arrangements as far as the municipalities, as far as one, they've frozen evictions. You can't evict somebody because they're not paying their rent, and obviously it's due to COVID. But they're designating that there's a time period in which tenants can pay landlords back. Part of my perspective, right or wrong, is if they're not going to pay it back in the first couple months of COVID, say March and April or April and May, and you're going to slide those 2 months back down the line when they're still trying to get their business up and running, how are they going to pay the rent then and 2 extra months of rent? So I'm just working with each tenant on an as-is basis. Some of them, their businesses have not been hit by COVID, so they've been able to make their money, make their income, make their rent. Some are on a partial payment schedule. And when it gets right down to it, they're families, they're human beings. They're trying to make their way. I need to look at my business, which is, my livelihood is from the properties. But if I don't have tenants, I don't have income. And so everybody's getting hit by, this is my personal opinion, everyone has to deal with COVID. Everyone's going to have to bite the bullet somewhere. As the tenants are going to have to forced to only make limited amounts of income due to the situation, it comes a point in time where I'm going to have to share that burden. I can't say, well, too bad on you, and I want all my rent. I mean, that sounds like something that's just not fair. If we could work something out, and I've laid out a formula, program, whatever you want to say, like maybe we could do some sort of a payment where we could work something out. As long as you communicate with me. If a tenant's not going to communicate with me, just to blow me off for 3 months, we're going to have a conversation. But nobody's done that yet. We're having dialogue.
People blowing you off, ignoring you.
No, I like to have a good rapport with my tenants, as I do with people that I work with, whether real estate or just everyday life. Everybody pretty much knows me. What you see is what you get, and I'm fair. My dad ran things a little bit differently. None of his units had heating and cooling units. People were burning up in the summer, freezing in the winter, wearing parkas in December. And when the properties came to me, I put in heating and cooling units. If I had a vacant unit, I'm going to rent it faster if I've got a nice brand new air conditioning heating unit in there. And right. So now my tenants have cool air for their barbershop in the summer, and people aren't avoiding that barbershop business or that hair salon or nail salon because they're burning up. It's a nice air conditioned building. In the same breath, if it's the middle of the winter, they're not freezing. They can go in there, and then people can actually be comfortable interacting with that particular business. So
I got a question. So, do you ever go to the barber shop? Do they charge you full price?
No, but I'm tempted to go in and get a pedicure. But, So I just work with the tenants. So I just finished a major rehab of our largest center. It was almost a year, only because we had so many things to do. We put up a new post sign. We did the roofs on 3 different buildings, put up a number of heating and cooling units, replaced the fascia on one building. We discovered old electrical and had to replace that and electrical panels. And it was maybe not a year. It was a long period of time. It was pretty expensive, but the tenants were appreciative that they have basically a brand new building. And, are my rents going to reflect that? For a long time, my dad didn't do anything and collected the rent. So what I'm doing now is I'm paying some of that back. Some of the newer tenants will have an increase in rent. Some of the current tenants, as their leases expire, will have moderate increases in rent. But I'm not out to get everything back overnight. But my tenants do know me for being fair and for treating them with respect. And being understanding when things are difficult, and things couldn't be more difficult than they are now with COVID.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, it really is a shit show out there. And I think it's amazing that you're willing to help people. Obviously, with everything that's going on out there. Did you? I really appreciate you taking the time and coming on today and being a guest. Is there anything that you want to offer as parting words to people that are listening to you now that may or may not know who you are, but now they have a little bit more understanding?
Um, I just say, believe in yourself. Don't worry about how difficult it's difficult for everybody. Everything, whether it's COVID, whether it's the economy, whether sales aren't up, you just got to believe in yourself. The most important thing I want to say is you need to reach out to your community. You need to build your network, because your network is going to be where your support base comes from. There are three things that I've learned that I use in my group, my networking group, is your network is your net worth. If you don't have a network, you don't have a base of support, you're basically in the middle of the ocean with an oar, in a rowboat with one paddle. You have to have a network. You have to build that network for your business. And as far as your business goes, you don't market your business, you market yourself. People are going to come back to your business because you've treated them fair, because you've been a good person. So that's the second thing. You don't market your business, you market yourself. And the third one is you really got to get to know people, and you get to know people by being a good person, taking interest in them, building rapport before you ask them to buy your product or what can they offer you. And part of that is the third thing I like to say is it's not who you know, but who knows you. And people are going to know you by putting yourself out there. Put yourself out there on social media. Find me on Facebook. I'll be on Facebook. If you're in Fortune Builders, join my Coast to Coast REI networking group. And believe in yourself and just do the right thing.
I would say, once we end all this, and when I say all this, not our lives, the live, I would say go back and then maybe just put your information and tag your group in it so people can have the opportunity to join your group as well. I think you're doing a great thing. I really enjoyed going on to your private group. I had a lot of great laughs. A lot of people with great sense of humor is in your group. And I definitely want to set that thing up where we could do, the part.
Would love to have you back. Everybody loved your content, loved your contribution. Your person. The message is good, but the messenger's better. If it wasn't your personality, your character, your warmth, your heart, who you are, you wouldn't be so well received. And that's what it's about, who you are. And it's for the people watching your live stream right now. Get out there, get out of your shell. Don't let you be your own obstacle. Reach out, build your network, pick up the phone, connect people, send them a Facebook message, get out of your own way and reach out and build your network.
Yeah, the whole concept of doing these lives at 12 is to educate people and other people that are in other market shares that might not know people. We don't have a lot of friends in common, but you've got thousands of people in your network. I've got thousands of people in my network. And I don't think there's anything wrong with doing cross-marketing. One of the biggest issues that I come across in this industry is people look at other people's obstacles and competition. I don't look at people as that. I look at people in general as opportunity. Now, are there other people that do what I do? Yes. Are there other companies out there that reach out to my company and ask to speak with Leah and myself because they have a question about a file? Yeah, a lot. But I would never blow someone out on social media and say, hey, guys, it's funny. Everybody says, oh, I'm the greatest. But those people are actually reaching out to my company and saying, Matt, what's going to happen with COVID? Matt, is it going to be another 2005? How long is this going to take? Last year I did my first ever short sale boot camp expo in New Jersey. was packed. We had over 200 people in the room, and it was painstakingly probably one of the hardest things that I've ever done as far as an accomplishment to prove to myself that I could do it. And I did it, which was great. What I also learned was, besides what it actually taught me about myself, was that there's so many people in this industry that are faking it until they make it. And I know in some aspects that is okay if you're being coached or if you have a mentor. But what I do is not something that people should try at home and fail and say, which I've heard, which upsets me. Well, they were late in their mortgage anyway, and they were going to lose their property, so on to the next. But these people rely on people like myself, like yourself, as advisors in the industry, and they want to know that, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? So the whole 12 o'clock show right now is to let people know that there are other people in other industries, no competition. This isn't about, hey, I closed 5 million last month. Who gives a shit? How many people did you help? How many people did you offer, training to? Now, look, I don't have time to do free training anymore. And it upsets me because I did like doing it. But now, we're so busy and we're in so many different markets now that I can't put myself in a position where I'm going to wear myself out and not be able to offer the support to my team. And also, I have a family. So I have to, that balance between the work relationship and the personal relationship, with my family. So I think people bite off more than they could chew. And I think that they should look to either outsourcing certain elements about their business. And that's why I tell people, hey, you know what? Reach out to my company, find out what, the services that we provide or services that somebody like yourself provides. So they have an understanding of, hey, if I really want to get involved in this, if I really want to do something like this. Somebody just posted this. Jay is the most famous fortune builder in one of the builders in the community. So that's nice to know that people actually have that high regard. I wish to God that StreamYard and Facebook could get their act together and I could actually see who these people are that are posting it. So, but I wanted to show that on there because it popped up and it made me smile, and I thought you'd like to see that.
Well, that's pretty cool.
JJ, listen, I really appreciate you coming on the show. My shows have been bouncing around, but mostly 12 o'clock every single day. I am going to basically push it now from Monday through Friday, and I'm going to do Tuesday through Thursday because there's just too much that has to be done. And I am not going to get up at 5:30 in the morning like this crazy lunatic. But I do want to be able to give the services and provide top-notch service that I provide. And the only way I could do that is if I cut down on some of these lives because there's a lot of, preparation work as far as, doing these types of things and offering these types of services. But I appreciate you coming on.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate being here.
If somebody wants to reach out to you direct again, they can reach out to you on your cell, JJ. And the cell number is 818-683-4047, 818-683-4047. JJ Izania? Zina.
Azizian.
Azizian.
There you go.
Sounds like you're sneezing. God bless you. Thank you so much for being on the show. At the end of every one of these lives, I ask people to try to emulate the finger point. So I'd like to see if you can do it as well.
Oh, your finger point?
Yeah. It's good. It's good. I like it. I like the whole eyebrow thing. Nice. I'm gonna give you a 7.
There you go.
Nobody's gotten a 10 yet. Nobody.
As I see you're this direction, so I tend to go.
Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Hold on one sec. Guys, going forward, Tuesday through Thursdays, we're going to be doing the lives at 12 o'clock. And Tuesdays and Thursday nights when it's available, we'll be doing a deeper dive. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Real Estate Recovery Group, Matt Marinoff, and my guest today is JJ. And JJ, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Hold on one second.